This is Cooper Perkins with a special edition of Rafters Pregame today on July the 22nd. I'm joined by the voice of the Rockford Rivets, B.J. Walters, as we talk a little bit about what to expect tonight, and also just talking the landscape of the South Division. B.J., it is a pleasure to have you aboard. Thank you, my man.
Anytime, Cooper. It is fantastic to come up to Rapids. Great hotel, great food, great press box, and great to watch these two fine ball clubs go to work.
You say it yourself. I just want to dive right into the Rockford Rivets. Obviously, you guys are an expansion franchise the first year. Raptor fans are just getting used to seeing them coming to town in those beautiful gray jerseys. What's the process been like trying to build the fan base? Obviously, Rockford has had baseball before with varying levels of success, and it presents some new challenges to try and come in there and make it successful.
It's been a challenge. There's no doubt about that. Our general manager, Chad Bauer, is constantly trying to figure out ways to get people at the ballpark. It's about trust right now in Rockford. The people of Rockford have seen two franchises leave the city in the last 5 years. They almost are waiting for a third franchise to fail. And that's a tough battle to, climb uphill. But the fact that the team is winning, the fact that their last Saturday night game did draw 1,922. Tomorrow night they're expecting even more than that against Green Bay. Tomorrow's a big game because it's the last Saturday home game. There's one more Friday home game after that, but the turnouts are getting there. They're not there yet, but I think Chad Bauer will see the few steps being taken to get it to where he wants it to be.
Well, you mentioned the winning, obviously. That is another part that has been huge in your guys' kind of acceleration and bringing that process along quicker. That was something that was difficult to come by here in Wisconsin Rapids, something not until this season that really had materialized. But you look at some of the other expansion franchises that have come up in recent years, Lakeshore, also Kenosha. They've both already won Northwoods League championships. You guys have won 6 in a row. It's your second win streak of 6 games or more. Could this maybe be the next team in the lineage of early franchises to win a Northwoods League title?
It seems crazy to say that it could, especially statistically. I did an interview with the manager, Brian Smith, last week at the beginning of this winning streak, and he said statistically, this is Rochester. This is not Rockford. So statistically, probably not, but the fact that the rotation has come around, the fact that now you've got 2 guys in the lineup that can pop one at any moment with the Texas Tech kids, Hunter Hargrove and Ryan Long. And then the bullpen. The bullpen's been fantastic all year. You guys in Rapids obviously know all about a great bullpen. But when you've got that, you've got a shot. And I think these guys come to the ballpark every day thinking they've got a shot to win it. And you know what? They just ride this wave as long as they can. I don't think they have any massive expectations. But when you're winning, just see how long you can take it.
So you talk about Brian Smith a little bit, your first-year manager who has handled things really masterfully to keep this team, straight and narrow, especially with some coaching departures and a little bit of turnover there. How has the face changes affected this ball club? Obviously, new players like Hunter Hargrove and Ryan Long coming in. You add some really strong bats in the middle of that order. You also have faces departing. You lose a hitting coach. You have some, people coming and going. Has that affected the chemistry? Has that been a positive experience bringing these new guys in, or has it been a little bit difficult?
I think if you ask Brian, he would tell you it's just part of the process. He's very experienced in this league. He's a member of the all-decade team in the 2000s in Madison. He knows what this league is like. Nothing surprises him. So really, when something happens, it's just, all right, let's fill the void. Jacob Vanderwall separates his shoulder. Okay, it took a week to get Troy Traxler to town. No big deal. You get pitchers leaving. The rotation, half of the rotation that was there on opening day is no longer with the franchise. Ironically, it was the 4, 5, and 6 guys who have left in the rotation. There's been 3 different number 6 starters. They finally settled on a lineup, and I think that's something that Brian Smith was hoping to do earlier in the year. But certainly when you're winning and you're on a winning streak like this, you just write the same names on there every day. And overall, I think he would view this as part of the process. It's a long process, and you have to stay with it, whether it's going good or it's going bad.
So you mentioned the winning streak, 6 games, the second time you guys have done something of that variety. But it's not quite been the same as we saw in the first half. It was the 7-game winning streak and then some more struggles. Right around 500 was where things ended up. But in this second half, you pointed out to me last night that the club's been either alone in first place or matched in first place in some capacity every day here in the second half. Is this a team that Rapids fans need to be a little bit more concerned about come playoff time? Obviously, the pressure is light here with the Rafters already having clinched their playoff berth, but this is a team with strong pitching and some big boppers in the middle of the order that could win a one-game playoff.
I think the concern would come in that one pitch could get you knocked out now. In the first half of the year, yes, the Rivets were competitive, but it was not sexy baseball. Watching a bunch of guys walk, not attractive baseball at all. Yes, it kept them in the race. Yes, it got them to 17 and 19 to where a run in the second half would get them in the postseason. But now it's two guys get on, Hargrove's hitting one out, Long's hitting one out. Ricardo Ramirez is due back next weekend from a knee injury. He can hit one out. So I think the concern for any team facing Rockford right now is that if you make one bad pitch, you could be gone from the playoffs, especially when you consider Drake Robinson, who got gray-shirted at Iowa this year, is finally getting in a rhythm as the ace of this staff. A 1.8 ERA last summer in the Alaskan League. Smitty knew it was going to take time this summer. He knew that when you sit out for 5 months, you're not going to throw a two-hit, shutout on opening night. But his last start was 8 innings of one-hit shutout baseball against Madison. If Drake Robinson is throwing the ball like that, yeah, a lot of teams should be concerned. But I look at a game like last night, and the Rivets should be just as concerned. They've got to get this defense shored up. They've got to make sure that when a game is in hand, and at 5-0, I think for a lot of people, a game should be in hand. It needs to be completely in hand. It does not need to end 6-5 like it did last night.
It was a fun one last night. As we come back to the more relevant notes of what to be expected tonight, Tyler Thornton, a pitcher that the Rafters have seen twice already this season, 8 2/3 scoreless most recently in Rockford with a 6-inning gem. What can they expect to see from Big Country? I mean, I know he's a big guy. The fans will see him for the first time. What's your scouting report on Tyler Thornton?
Big guy, and he knows how to use his frame. 6'5", 280 pounds from the South, so he's well taken care of down there. He's going to be 91 with his fastball if he's right. He'll just sit 91, but his fastball is not his best pitch. He will throw a slider, 78, 79, but his pitch is a split finger. And after a game, you'll ask him, hey, nice fastball tonight. And he'll say, no, nice splitter tonight. So he loves to, put hitters away with the split finger fastball. The key for him is get ahead early, because 91 or not 91, if you're 2-0, you're going to get hit, especially with a lineup as good as the Rafters have. So for Thornton to be successful, get ahead early, use that splitter. He knows he doesn't have to throw it for strikes to strike people out. I would venture to say 30% of his splitters are strikes, and he's striking a lot of people out with it. So if he's anything above 91, not going to be a good night for Tyler Thornton. If he's 91, maybe touching 92 once or twice in the first couple innings, Rafters fans could be in for a very frustrating night, as they have before against Tyler Thornton.
Well, they'll try and reverse that curse tonight. I'm joined by BJ Walters, the voice of the Rockford Rivets, as the Rafters and Rivets do battle one final time here at Witter Field tonight on Rafters Pregame.